Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today I'm with a very special guest, the one and only Chamel Simmons. I got it right?
Thanks, bro. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. So the first thing I noticed when I started doing research on you is that you're basically associated with like martial law, which is awesome. I was supposed to go to the Emerald City Gala, and last second, out of the kindness of my heart, I gave my ticket to a friend instead. And I'm not saying I regret it, but after I've been actually noticing that lineup, there were some crazy acts there.
Listen, it was an experience for the books, bro. Like, you missed out. Like, that was when you should have been like, dang, you called me to tell me come up here or something. Like, it was dope. Marshall was that guy.
So let's just start right there. I've noticed that you've done a lot of shows. So how did you get involved with that show? Like, that seemed like something that was very impactful for the music scene.
Absolutely. I've been doing freestyle battle raps and stuff pretty much since the 7th grade, but I really wanted to tap into the Seattle scene because I went to school out in Federal Way. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't do a lot of things in Seattle besides like battles, but I really wanted to get out and, let people know, hey, I'm out here too, I want y'all to get a taste of the females that's out here representing and doing their thing. So I did a competition called Discovered at first it was at the Taste of Caribbean in Seattle. And then I got introduced to one of the judges by the name of Giorgio Brown and the Cool Out Network. And then he was just like, you're dope. Where have you been all my life? Let's go paint the town. And so we literally just was like, we're going to attack every area of Seattle, every venue that we can, just get our name out there. So that's what we did.
Yeah. So is battle rap still pretty relevant in Seattle? I didn't even know there was like a scene for that out here.
There is always a scene for a battle rap because you always have someone who knows like the traditions and the roots of hip hop that want to battle and do. So you have a lot of different leagues that are out here that are doing battles. It's definitely relevant in Seattle.
Wow, holy shit. See, I just learned about a new market I have to tap into. That's fucking nice.
Yeah, you got a lot of hitters out here. And you got to think like, I feel like with Seattle and the hip hop scene is different, especially with the millennials and the hipsters, and you just got a different style of hip hop. But and what is introduced within a Seattle flavor, because you got some of the hip hop here is like a Starbucks coffee. You got your caramel frappuccinos, your
that's me,
vanilla beans. You got a mix of like Nirvana and Goody Mob type hip hop. Like, you just got so many different flavors of the art, which is part of the art. You feel me? It wasn't traditional. It wasn't music brought like we were used to, or the people were used to at the time. So you definitely got a lot of different scenes that a lot of people don't know about, because one particular thing in Seattle is to stand out more since.
Damn. So like, when it comes to battle rap, do you think like the everyday Joe knows about it? Because what I noticed when I started this podcast was the lack of attention in a way from the local, just everyday person understanding the music scene. So I thought like a podcast would be the perfect way for whoever to understand more about these artists. So
absolutely,
the Seattle music scene, not saying it's in a hole by any means, but it's kind of, if you're not part of the music scene, it's kind of hard for you to understand it. So when it comes to battle rap, that's even further down in the music scene in a sense. Like you have to really have a love for it. So do you feel like it gets the attention it deserves? And if not, what are some steps
No,
that people can get towards
absolutely.
getting it?
Showing up, like showing up to people that they know who do the art shows and events. Because a lot of times you be like, oh, I know I have a friend that does music. Like, what does that mean? Oh, I don't know. They make beats, or I think they don't, they're not really vested. You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, artists are a dime a dozen nowadays, especially with social media and technology and everybody feeling like they can do what we do. Everybody can't do what we do and how we do it. So if people really took the time to support the people that they know who really have done this, like I bump into people from school all the time and they're like, oh, you still doing yeah, like that's never gonna change. Like that's never gonna stop. Like it's in me, it's on me, like that's what it is. You meet people like, oh yeah, I don't do that no more. I love music, but you feel me? When you're passionate about something and you really truly feel like it's your purpose, how you move with it and continue to evolve with it will never change. And you're going to figure out how that is going to be what carries you for the rest of your life, because nothing else is going to fulfill you more than that. You feel me? You're always miserable doing other things because it's not what you're supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I feel like when we know people who are passionate about the things that they're doing in music, for instance, if you know somebody that is a rapper or a battle rapper, a musician, an artist, and they're actively out here doing shows, releasing projects, dropping songs or putting something, actually take the time and support. It takes you a couple minutes to go watch a video or promotion something that they're putting out. It takes you a couple minutes to play a song or something that came across your Instagram or however they market it. Like, we just like and move on and we're doing this all day. You know what I mean? There's no real interaction. And then prior to the pandemic and doing stuff, everybody's so busy they pick and choose what they wanted to do. You know what I mean? They took for granted having the opportunity to go to a live show. It was taken for granted having artists or creatives coming together and putting on a show. You feel me? Like, venues and stuff are hurting right now, and the same people that they turned their backs on and made us go through hoops and bounds and all this crazy stuff to even entertain people, now you want us to come save you. You want us to speak up on your behalf, and we were the ones that you were like, oh, you're just a local artist, you're just, what's your fault? Like, come on. Like, no, now people are starting to appreciate and miss that element and that aspect of life, because you've had to do this for the last 6 months. You know what I mean? So just you gotta support, and that goes for anything that anybody does that you have to support them. You feel me? Whether it's spending your money, whether it's giving your time, whether it's giving your energy, whether it's giving an encouraging word, whether it's checking in or showing some kind of interest, we have to support. You feel me? Sure. We have to support.
That's crazy that you're talking about that.
Kind of a long ass.
No, I think it's important. That's the whole thing with this platform. I want to give people to rant if they like, do whatever they'd like to talk about, But those are amazing points, especially I like that studio, that part about the venues. I've been seeing that, that's always been a huge thing in Seattle about how studios, venues don't give people enough attention. And then I see venues like Dozer's Warehouse.
What's so crazy? Facts, major facts. And what's so crazy is even prior to me doing the competition in Seattle to start getting and doing on venues, I reached out to every single venue in Seattle to do a launch party for my No Gimmicks Volume 1 album, and to start booking the show to do my own separate tour. 3/4 of them wouldn't even respond to me on the emails, wouldn't even call me back. You feel me? Like didn't even take the chance to bother to even probably open it. You feel me? And now they want us all to come together and be like, oh, we're in need. We was in need too. You know, like you had the platforms and the stages and the venues for us to get our voice out, to be seen, to be heard. And we wasn't good enough then. But now you want us to come, and now you think we're good enough, and we have the impact to come save you because you can't make your money off of our liquor sales that we couldn't get a piece of, and you wanted a piece of action from our door sales, and you wanted us to pay for everything, and then now the shoe's on the other foot, and you want me to come save you, huh? What?
Oh my God. How do you feel about artists trying to do these virtual shows? Do you think those are working out well, or do you think they still need some time to evolve?
I feel like if you have a following, and you have you have people that are engaged enough to do it, absolutely do it. You know what I mean? You have the following, but for people who are building that and trying to get there, like, I feel like this is a time where you should be practicing and perfecting your craft and building up your catalog and your content to then come hit them in a different way. You feel me? Because everybody's doing that. So what is going to make me tune into you over this Meg Thee Stallion that's about to drop? Over this, what's going to make me want to come? Who's this martial law band group over? Pearl Jam is about to do a verses with Limp Bizkit. Who are they going to watch? You know what I mean? Yes, there for the archives and it's there for them, but who? Instagram? That's not in your archives. That's not something that you got on your website that you're flowing, that you're streaming, because everybody's on Instagram watching them. So now you got to go to their platform to help them become bigger, to help them make more money during the pandemic, and you're still doing free shows.
Damn.
We just went from a venue, an actual brick and mortar, to online.
Yeah, these streaming services are making a fuck ton of money. I can tell you that much.
Bro, like, it's crazy. If somebody told you in December to invest in Zoom, you would have been like, nah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Somebody would have told you to go invest in Johnson and Johnson. You'd be like, you're crazy. Somebody would have told you to go invest in toilet tissue and paper towel. You'd be like, you're smoked, bro. I'm never taking financial advice from you. Huh? You know who you what? What? The money you have right now? Like, what? Who? You'd be like, new phone, who this?
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah. So what have you been doing to evolve during these times? Like, I know, like I said, I've seen some local artists doing shows. I saw that you recently put out a mixtape. Is that what you've been working on during this whole pandemic, or update us? What have you been doing?
No, I put that together in a couple of days. I've been actually learning audio engineering, and the production aspect of the music. I've always just been focused on my creative and writing and like visual presentations and scripts and things like that I never took the time to learn production and the engineering. And it's like, that's the key component to all of those things. You know, if you know sound and you know how to make all that flow together, then you're really a one-man band. You're unstoppable. So I've been learning that. I've been also super on the give back tip with emergency feeding program in Renton. I've been doing that since really the pandemic hit. So that's just been my focus, is just honing in on my catalog, learning audio engineering, prepping for tour, and really putting the plan together so, you know, I can make my next move as an artist to that next level. So
Your next move is your best move.
always, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Yes. So tell me more about this thing in Renton, the emergency food thing. What's that all about?
Emergency feeding program.
Okay.
Yeah, so we specialize in just getting quality food to people with food insecurities, especially the communities of color, our Black and brown people. So we've been really just working hard to make sure that people are fed, especially in the pandemic, because you'd be surprised like how many people were just devastatedly hit. Families that I can't provide for my family, let alone feed them. And prior to the pandemic, I was barely providing, you feel me? And now this. So it's Black owned and operated. If I'm not mistaken, the only one in Washington.
Wow.
Don't quote me on it, but I believe so. And really just taking the mission and spreading it across to get our communities nice, healthy, good quality food and not have to worry about it. They don't pay us a dime. We had a drive-through line set up for a while. We distribute to a lot of these schools and social workers, organizations and agencies that are giving out food and stuff. That's all coming from us. So it's just been a blessing to be able to give in a time of need when people are, going crazy and trying to figure out what is life.
That's very inspirational. That's dope. I don't know how many artists can be like saying they're doing that type of stuff. Damn.
You'd be surprised, man. A lot of people just move in silence. You know what I mean? And you be surprised. A lot of people are out giving and doing, and people have no idea who it is that are doing it. You be surprised.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's great news then.
Thanks.
So you said you're preparing for tour. Do you have in your own mind, do you kind of have an estimate of when you feel like this whole pandemic will clear up, or what are your opinions on all that?
I'm not even waiting for the pandemic to clear up. You feel me? At this point, what I've seen, what I've shown, and what I believe, it is a distraction, for so many reasons and so many things. Somewhat, I feel like come beginning of the year, I'm going to be ready to hit the road and just execute the plan that I was going to execute this year. This year was going to be the tour year nationally and internationally. Wow. But I just got more time to navigate and really map out in details how I want to move and what I want to do going forward.
For sure. So with a tour, does that mean you're going to be dropping like a full-length project with it, or?
Yeah, I've got a couple projects that's going to be dropping. The Lost Tapes is more mixtape style of different beats that I've always just loved and wanted to hop on and do something to. So with me teaching myself audio engineering, I'm using that as my test dummies to do that with, because when I create a project, like, I'm a perfectionist and it will never get out if I don't learn how to do and get it to sound the way it needed to. So I'm using these as those stepping stones to release the project. So then when I get in and I'm in the studio, I have the flow, I have the rhythm on the engineering aspect, and it'll just be as easy as it is stepping up to a mic.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you actually I think that's really important that you took time out of this whole pandemic to look on the bright side and be able to learn audio engineering. Like,
absolutely. Man. Absolutely. And believe me, I've been running like that. I'm a firm believer in everybody staying in their lane. I'm an artist. I write, I create. I never wanted to learn it or dive into it, but I'm like, all the money I'm shelling out in studio, having the access, I appreciated it in the beginning because it taught me how to prepare and be ready for those situations. Like going in the studio, I'm not going in the studio to write. I'm not going in the studio to make a beat. Like when I go in the studio, I'm recording 5 to 6 songs. They're going to be finished, ready to move on to be mixed and mastered when we're done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it taught me how to be disciplined in the workflow, but yeah, like I don't want to have to depend on other people to move forward in what I want to do. You feel me? Especially like in this situation, everything was shut down. Nobody was trying to do nothing. You know, they're afraid to get sick or to spread it or whatever. So that could have been 6-9 months that I'm just stale, you know? Stale. No.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you recorded that mixtape. So have you been able to go to studios now, or do you have an in-house studio, or where do you go to record?
I created a little studio in my little spot. Yeah,
Ooh.
I converted a closet to the booth. Got my little dope lighting in there. Set up my computer and my interface and speakers and stuff on the outside in my living room. So my living room is literally half living room, all studio. So,
oh shit!
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
That's the artist life right there.
Come on, man. It's you can't get no better. Like I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, how I want to do it. You know, and nothing can stop me. I can literally go from you say okay, I say I get off this, and when I'm done with you, I have 4 songs that I have to go finish for a competition on Sunday. So I get to get off here with you, go back home, work on that. Like go to sleep, wake up. I get to come back in there. Like I don't watch TV. Like I don't watch Netflix. I'm not on Hulu. I can't tell you what's going on the tiny couch sessions and everything else. I can't tell you none of that because this is what I'm doing. I'm here. Can't tell you what movies dropping or I can't tell you anything, but what's about to come.
But with that though, doesn't that mean you can't do like pop culture references?
What do you mean?
I feel like especially with this COVID thing, what I've noticed, not every album, but a lot of albums maybe focus on the quarantine. Maybe they're talking about pop culture, what's happening, or like relating to COVID, or like I just went to a studio session with this artist named Bryce Bowden, and like in one of his songs, he's going to be hopefully dropping in the next few months. He was like in one of the lyrics, he's like, I dropped this project during COVID or something simple like that. Like they're referencing to COVID. So with your music, if you're not like watching TV or anything like that, do you still make sure you're connected with like what's happening in the music scene and everything? Or how do you?
Because I'm a part of this scene, I'm always going to know what's going on in the scene. I'm talking like I'm not sitting up here like
watching cartoons.
Yeah, checking out what's trending on Netflix or who's in. I'm not paying attention to other people's business. You feel me? I'm not watching everybody else's fantasies and success stories. I'm over here creating my own. I'm over here, you know, of course I'm tapped into the scene and I know what's going on, especially in politics and news and stuff like that. Like I'm very aware and involved in that stuff because it affects you and it affects us as a whole. So and if we're not connected and know what's going on in those aspects, then we can't connect and use our platforms for the people. You know what I mean? But I'm not sitting up here like, oh yeah, everybody's on. I don't know. What are they on?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Like you cherish like the actual like origin of rap and like what it's supposed to be about, not all these like pop culture references that are like here today, gone tomorrow type shit.
No, I mean it's all trends and like growing up and what I was taught, like it was never cool to like bite and be somebody else or part of something because the majority was doing it. Like, you know what I mean? You were always supposed to be yourself and stand up for what's right and use your voice, like to be a follower or, like the cool kids. Like that was corny to me. You feel me? Like, and I never got down with that. And the people that made other people feel bad or picked on, like I always was the one bullying the bully because you only picking on them because they ain't gonna say nothing to you. But that ain't, don't do that. Like, don't move like that. So, even fashion trends and stuff like that. Like, I've never been, oh, everybody's on those, I want to rock those now, so you're gonna see me with shoes that look like orthopedic. No, like those are ugly to me. I don't care how much they cost. Like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I've just always been different.
So do you just have an old soul, or are you an older artist? I have no idea.
Let's go. I probably just got an old soul, Black don't crack, baby. Don't get it twisted.
Black don't crack.
Yeah, we was 19 our whole life. You know what I mean? Especially when you full blooded with the juice. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. So let's get back to your origins, actually. Like, I've listened to a few of your interviews, but I feel like no one's really tapped in with your origins. And I feel like that's really important for up and coming artists, for, the fans and other up and coming artists to really understand where someone got their background. So how did you get involved with this battle rapping? And is this still something that's relevant in your career, or are you leaning more towards just being like a recording artist now?
Well, I started 7th grade, Sacagawea Junior High, Federal Way. Miss Steiner's math class. This was back when the big timers, they used to play the what was it, the Cash Money beat all the time on the desk, and when Maria came on, and they used to play that beat on the desk, and then they'd be in the back, and I'd be like, what are y'all doing? Like, it's middle class teaching a lesson, they're back here doing something. I don't know what they were doing. So I go to him, I'm like, what is y'all doing? Like, he's like, oh, we're rapping. I'm like, huh? He's like, we're freestyling. Della Capelli, shout out Devon. He was like, yeah, you just say whatever comes up on your mind to the beat, and that's what it is. He was like, you should try it. I was like, all right. He said, we'll do it at break. I was like, cool, okay. It's like talking, you just say what comes up. He roasted me so cold. I was like, oh, this is what you do? Oh, this won't happen again. Next day, so literally, I walked to and from school because we lived right around the corner from SAC. And so I was just rapping about the rocks, rapping about just coming up whatever came to mind just to practice, to get ready. Came back the next day and I was like, yeah, let's get it, break. Literally, we was battling back and forth. It became like this girl versus boy thing. Like, the hallways would be, you know how the hallways used to be jammed when you have like fights and stuff? Like, that's how it would be for them to come watch us battle each other. And it's just music. The administrators would be like, what's going on out here? What y'all doing? And we like, rapping. And we battling, and it just, I fell in love ever since.
Damn.
Ever since. Yeah, but prior to that, like, I always wrote poetry and poems and stuff. Like, people from my mom's job used to pay me to like write their anniversary cards or something to their spouses or their kids or because I've always just known what to say with words.
Damn, that's fucking crazy. It sounds like one of those like those uplifting coming of age like Black movies.
Tell me about it. It's real life.
That's fucking nice.
It's real life.
So when it comes to making all these connections, is it through venues, or do you just go up and like message these people, or how do you become so connected in the scene?
Getting out in the scene, going to support people, or showing up at different open mics, or showing up at different things, and just you meet one person. It never fails. You meet one person every place new that then connects you to the next person and to the next person. And then people are coming, they hear about you. Oh, I heard about you. I've seen you here and I've seen you there. Oh, you were that. And that's just how it came about. Like with me and Marshall, I met Marshall at Mojams, because they used to have Mojam Mondays. Yeah, at Nectar, and you know, since it's a open forum, just getting on the mic and stuff. I got up, Marshall was like, "Man, you're dope." I was like, "Thanks, bro." Like, I hadn't heard him or knew who he was yet, and then he got up. I was like, "No, you're fucking dope."
Yeah.
So, and then it's just been love ever since. And then I got to meet the guys from the martial law band, you know, and it's just been a family and a connection that's forever. Those are my bros.
Such
They already
good people.
know. Yeah, man. They just shoot the text, give me the call. They ain't even gotta ask. I'm there. Just send me the digits. I'm there. It's nothing. Those are my guys, for sure.
Their new project that's about to come out. Holy shit!
I know. Did you you got to see the snippets of Louder? Yeah. Yeah, I'm on. We did Atlas together.
Oh shit!
Yeah, check that one out.
For sure.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a. I interviewed him like the day the chop barriers came down, so like right at like the day everything happened. So we had a lot to talk about then, and he's about to drop that project, so we're definitely gonna do an album release interview. So that's exciting as fuck.
Yeah, they're filthy. Yeah,
hella good people.
All day, man. Such like genuine, you know, like, and that's what a lot of people are missing and don't have. You know, you pick up on energy, you pick up on vibes, like, and they're just beautiful. I love them. Those are my
they found some way to connect with like both scenes, like because they're like rock, but they're also like rap. So that's like two fucking audiences at once that they've got.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're a fan of the art, you're a fan. It's not a genre that's gonna supposedly bring you. You have some people that literally, oh, I only do real underground hip hop. Okay, do that. That's where we know where to find you. You know what I mean? But people who really appreciate music, message, you're eclectic with your sound. You're eclectic with your taste. You're eclectic with what you go and connect with.
It's crazy that like no one's gonna be able to do what you or Marshall or anyone that you guys are associated with. Their come up is not gonna be the same as yours. Like that whole way of going through venues and everything, that might just maybe it won't disappear forever, but like how people's come ups are gonna be now, it's just gonna be so much different. And like
that's the beautiful part.
Yeah.
Because now we as up and coming artists or the new cats, we're gonna pave the way in history a different way, right? We get to say ha ha to the venues and the people that didn't care about us, you feel me? And then we get to say we told you so, not only to them but to ourselves, you feel me? And if we really bet on ourselves and we really follow through with how we want to move and what we're going to do, we're going to create that narrative. We're going to be the ones who are like, dang, Marshall and IAmChamel, they did this, and this is how they got to where they are now on their journey. And we thought we had to just sit up here and do TikToks all day and we were gonna become something, or we had all these shows booked at these certain venues and had to pay all this money and do this, and now I can control my narrative. I can dictate when I'm gonna make money, how I'm gonna make money, where I'm gonna do a show, how many people I want at my show. Like if it's a private event, it's a private event. You feel me? Like if it's a spur of the moment underground, you got to have the password to come in, I can do that.
Yeah. But I feel like there's also like the worry, or like there's always gonna be a thing between like organicness fighting against, you know, the technology type deal, or like non-organic, if you just want to put it that simple, you know. But like you were saying, like going to those shows versus trying to blow up on TikTok. Like what if we lead into this like dystopian future where all that matters is that like a record label is just a thing that like they like how someone looks and they're just going to go with that person and then they're going to make the music, but you don't even know if that artist is actually making the music or it's the record label. You know, like we already kind of see that. Like I just got off, like right before you, I had an interview with this guy who was signed to Interscope, and he started to realize that even though he was signed to like one of his dream labels, they kind of had him in their palm. They were saying, you know what, we want it to actually sound like this. And now he broke free of it. Now he's an independent artist and can do what he wants. But like, there's something about organicness, and it's always there, just knocking at the door, saying, "Hey, I'm still here."
You being organic is going to bring that technology aspect into it, because the people, you got to think about it. When people are coming to see you or perform, they're the ones filming you and showing you and going to share you, and somebody else is going to see you and pass you on and do what you do. You being you, doing you, being your authentic self, and performing or out somewhere and talking to somebody, they're gonna spread your message and pass you along through those platforms and those avenues that they're on. And that's how that's gonna run up organically, but using technology and doing what the new way in incorporating the newness of the social media aspects and things like that. So I don't feel like it has to be a fight. I feel like the fight comes when social media makes you think you have to invest and be so heavily into it to be successful.
Yeah.
Cause you can't catch me on social media. Like, if you would have tried to book this through Instagram, I maybe not would have seen it like that. Cause I'm not on there like that. I'm actually out here being active and doing things. You know, I'm not sitting at home doing nothing to be up on my phone all day. You know what I mean? When I get on my phone, I'm checking emails, I'm researching something, I'm, working. If I'm at home, I have my phone where I'm watching videos on how to do stuff and study and look up terminologies and different things like that. I'm not just sitting at the computer. Let me see what Marshall wore today. Oh, where did they go eat at? Oh my God, look at that puppy suit. Like, no. And then if I'm working, I'm trying to make sure we get fed. Like, I don't, where people have the time to do all this, I don't know. I don't know.
They don't have the time, and what they do is they're dedicating their time to the wrong things.
Yeah, and the thing that we asked for most, which was time, a lot of people got, and you're gonna see come next year, and even later on in this year, what people chose to do with it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Because I didn't get time off. You feel me? Since the pandemic hit, we really picked up over here at the emergency feeding program. Like, we were more busier than we had been ever during the pandemic. You feel me? We had time off to clean our building and do all the things that we needed to do for the PPE. But other than that, we've been all day, getting food here, getting food there, taking people, like, I haven't had the luxury of sitting home for months and, drawing more money from unemployment than I do work, and trying to figure out what I want to do. I've had to learn and do everything that I'm doing on top of still being in the midst of the madness.
For sure.
So they have no excuses.
How would you describe the Seattle music scene to someone who wants to learn more about the Seattle music scene and maybe starting from scratch and has no idea whether they want to be a fan of the Seattle music scene or they're an artist that wants to enter the Seattle music scene?
What I would say is, if you are interested in learning about the Seattle music scene, you have to start from the beginning and see the evolution. And the only person that I know from the beginning of the Seattle music scene and has it documented is Giorgio Brown and the Cool Out Network. So if you want to learn about it, you have to start there from the beginning and seeing how Seattle has had a music scene before Seattle realized that they had a music scene. You feel me? And he was the one capturing it. You feel me? I've been seeing tapes and videos from the beginning of Mary J. Blige's career coming out here to perform when nobody even knew who she was. And she was just pushing You Remind Me as a single. They don't know about that. They didn't know that happened in Seattle. You know what I mean? That they were freestyling in the park of apartments and renting, kids and their crews doing all that. Like, the Seattle music scene has been here. You feel me? But Seattle has picked and choose what they wanted to showcase and how they wanted to showcase in Seattle. And I feel like that's part of the problem, and the things that are going on in the world is we're picking and choosing how we want to be, who we want to represent what. And it's based on how you look as and your representation of a culture. You feel me? Why, when we get represented, like when hip hop gets represented in a fashion in a place like Seattle, it has to have a reference to grunge or live music or some type of band or mixed kid or soft kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. You know what I mean? You in Seattle, they do it's Giorgio gives the example all the time of coffee. Some people like black coffee, you know what I mean? But some people like cream in their coffee because it's still the same coffee, but the taste isn't as bold. It isn't as it's easier to go down and more flavorful because I have caramel macchiato, I have Irish cream, I have hazelnut, but it's the same coffee. It's just how it's presented to you in your taste buds. And it just seems out here on the music scene, they want to be safe. You know what I mean? And hip hop has this negative condensation with, black people, and it's going to be a dangerous event, or there's going to be some kind of nonsense of this and nonsense of that. So if it's more, what do they call it? I forget the term that they call the hip hop here, but yeah.
Whitewashed?
You said what?
Whitewashed? Macklemore?
I don't know. I say all bad. You know what I mean? Yeah, but you get it.
Yeah. Fuck. Well, even if you think about, like, when people think of like the origin, they think of maybe like a Sir Mix-a-Lot, and he took like the commercial route, like we don't have like a hardcore, unless you like really understand the music scene, and then you can be like, oh, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, but you don't have anyone that is like the face of Seattle. Outside, people look into Seattle from, and like, oh yeah, that guy's hard as fuck.
I mean, but even in that sense, you got to think he had to go underground and make up some noise
for sure
on the lower circuit. He came to the masses on the commercial scale. You feel me? But he was already a town legend on town shit. You feel me?
Town
prior
shit.
to that. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah.
People always get mad at an artist when they decide to, what they would say, go commercial or crossover in their art. And to me, you did your groundwork, and you laid your foundation, and you proven yourself prior to the mainstream. The mainstream is the fruits to some of those labors, in some aspect of a reward, because now you get to go use your talent in a different aspect on a larger scale. Your compensation scale is a little bit different, but I don't necessarily look at it as a bad thing, because now this thing that you're trying to figure out and learn, now you get to have a firsthand one-on-one internship or relationship to really learn and know that other side and aspect of it, to where now you can like, okay, what's wrong with the 2-3 year labor deal? What can you learn in those 2-3 years from the industry, from the way it runs? So then when this is up, now you have the option to go do what you do in a major independent way, or you've proven your worth and your success on a major level to where now look, you're a cash cow for us. Why in this great partnership and what we're doing now it's really on your terms, because you can go ahead.
Do you think artists, not even Sir Mix-a-Lot, just any artist that makes out of Seattle, do you think they bring it back to Seattle though? Because what I've seen is that's not really the case. And that's where artists kind of feel like, there's artists that feel like, no, they can do whatever they want. They made it on their own. And then there's the other side who's like, yeah, they made it on their own, but it's the Seattle music scene that got them to where they're at. And they should bring it back with all that advice back to Seattle.
I always think we should pay it forward. The tricky part about that is we can't dictate what we feel they should be doing. You feel me? Because we could be being selfish in the selfish mind. Well, you need to put me on. Well, what does that mean? You just want me to give you an opportunity because I made it? Like, who are you? What have you done around here to show me that you are worth my time and investment? You know how many people say they want to be rappers and then you like, okay, spit something. Oh, I don't freestyle. What do you mean you don't freestyle? How do you come up with ideas? Oh, well, NBA Youngboy came out with this song called Juice, so I'm gonna make a song called Juice. Huh? What? Like, yeah, and it's like it cripples us and puts us in the mentality that we're owed something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And nobody owes you nothing. Like Sir Mix-a-Lot and his grind and what he had to go through and sacrifice and do to get his level of success, he had to experience that. He had to endure that. Macklemore, you know, like I don't know these guys. I bumped in the mix and talked to him on a couple occasions. We have a mutual friend. Macklemore, I haven't met Macklemore, but from my understanding, he was responsible for the Travis Thompson guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you can even look at that situation. Technically, he came back and he put on his people. I'm going to just pause right there. He came back and put on, you know, out of all the people in Seattle that's, you know, proven themselves or done something like a Travis Thompson, you know, over like a Ras Simone, I will never understand that. You know what I mean? But hey, who am I to judge? You know what I mean? I don't know either one of them. I don't know, you know, I know Raz, I don't know Travis, I don't know Macklemore. You feel me? But who am I to say what you choose to do with your give back and how you should do that? I can't dictate that. All I know is I'm gonna keep my head to the pavement and I'm gonna keep doing my grind and doing my shine. So then when I'm on your level, on my way to surpass you, I can be like, this is what I'm doing. You feel me? Oh yeah, you're more than welcome to join me, but this is what I have going on. This is what I want to do for the community. I can't expect somebody else to sacrifice and do something for me how I would do for others, because everybody's different.
And that's why I think having like media outlets is important, because like with any music scene, the artist is kind of in a relationship with the music scene, whether they understand that or not. And with a relationship, you want to be honest with them, you know? And I don't feel like artists are given the opportunity to express maybe what their goals are when it comes to them blowing up or whatever. Maybe that was never Macklemore's intention to shine some light back on Seattle. And if that's the case, then maybe if he had an interview in Seattle,
they should be honest about that when asked.
Yeah, but we don't have that. We didn't have that. Maybe they didn't have that outlet. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel maybe there needs to be more honesty, whether it's through an outlet or not.
Right. You got to think, people want to be politically correct and they don't want to offend people. They don't want to ruffle feathers. People care too much what other people think and what other people feel. And I don't mean that to say like you should just be an asshole or you should be a dick or you should be rude, but you should always be true in your authentic self. Like, people like Blake for who Blake is. You feel me? People like Chamel for who Chamel is, what Chamel brings. I can't be Blake. Blake can't be Chamel. You feel me? And me trying to please or do what Blake wants me to do for Blake's validation is only going to hurt me because what if what Blake wants is completely against everything in me and what I feel and what I want for myself? You feel me? We spend at least the first 18 years of our life trying to get the validation and approval from our parents, from our people that we love. So we're already suppressing and building up all these barriers within ourselves and with our own identities in our first 18 years of life that we don't even realize we're doing, because all we care about is the approval and the validation of our authoritative figures. Is that a word?
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a word, but you know what I mean. So. Our village. You know what I mean? So then when we get out into the real world in society, then the next people that we're trying to impress are, if you go to college, your college professors and your peers there. And then when you get employed, like, you want the company to think that you're this person. So they tell you that this is the corporate person that you need to be, or how you need to move and how you need to act. And this whole time you're not being true or your authentic self, because you're trying to win the approval and validation of somebody else. As an artist, I get to say, fuck your thoughts, bro. I get to tell you exactly how I feel and what I think about XYZ, my opinion. Like, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, okay, you ain't gonna listen to me. Yeah, like, I'm Adi, like, I don't care. You know, I don't care. And fortunately for me is I've always been like, had a voice. I've always gotten in trouble, even with my parents. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm not, no, like, who are you talking to? Like, you know, so it's so important. I feel like it's so important that we as people just stop caring about how somebody else is gonna take something. Like, if I say something to you and you get offended and that wasn't my intention, then I'm immediately gonna be like, I'm Blake, my bad, bro. Like, that's not how I meant it. Like, what I was saying is this, like, if it came across that way, I'm big on that, because I'm really intentional and I really want you to feel what it is that I need you to feel, and I want it to be genuine and sincere. So if I offend you and that wasn't my intention, I'm about to apologize. But if I said something slick and it cut, I'm gonna be like, and what's next? You know what I mean? So when we get to that point, I feel like we'll be better off.
For sure. Well, I really appreciate everything you've said, and I don't think people realize. I think people do realize, but like with my podcast, what I've noticed with other interviewers, they kind of cut off their guests, you know, and I want my guests to say whatever the heck is on their mind, no matter how short or long it is, you know?
Appreciate it, bro. I just, you know, I'm thankful that somebody even thought to mention me to you and that I even got the opportunity. I'm just still, I don't want to ask you who, I'm just going to be thankful for it, but I'm like, but I'm just, whoever it was, thank you. I appreciate you. Wow. Like, this is, to me, this is big. So I just appreciate it.
For sure. So I ask all my guests, what's some advice that you have for up and coming artists, creators, influencers?
My advice would be you, be true to you. Don't let anybody take your voice. Don't let anybody make you feel bad for who you are, what you stand for, what you believe in. Don't let anybody shit on your dreams. Don't let anybody discourage you. Speak life into yourself. Believe in yourself. Invest in yourself mentally, physically, spiritually. Love on yourself, because it's so important that you know your worth and you understand your value and your purpose here on earth. And even if you don't know your purpose and you're wanting to figure it out, the fact that you even want to figure it out lets you know that you're on the right path, that your intentions are good. Just believe in yourself and know that it's possible. You're possible, and it can happen. It can
Amen.
happen.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Uh-uh.
For sure.
I'm about to play with you.
Well, this is the NAS podcast with.
I am Chamel.
There we go.